you have to outperform everybody else. This isn't just about getting better, it's about getting better faster than all of the other students. The most important thing you should do in the start of your journey for 11 plus preparation is perform an assessment of the student. By far the most important thing to know early doors is, well, what is the student capable of? Which schools or school system are they likely to gain access to? So start with an assessment. You can do an assessment like the Cambridge CEM test to get an idea of where the student is on a standard distribution compared to all the other students that are out there. Once you know this information, you can look at the schools that you're interested in gaining entrance to and get an understanding for which ones are capable and which ones will be capable with a certain amount of work. Once you've got your target schools, you can then start to put a plan in place. You can do this with a tutor who can then start to look at, well, what are the things that I need to cover to get this student to all the places that are required for an 11 plus assessment. We would always encourage you to lean into what the student is good at rather than focusing solely on what they're struggling with. But once the tutor then has a plan, you can then start to implement that plan and regularly assess the student at different milestones in the run up to those 11 plus assessments in order to get them ready. Once you've done an assessment of your student and understand where they stand on a standard distribution across the main aspects that are being assessed, like reasoning, English, and maths, you can then look on our own competitive index to look at which schools you are likely to gain entrance to. So what we've done is looked at the competitive independent schools in London and the UK and ranked them in terms of how hard we think they are to get into. So basically the more applicants a school has for its places, the better students will be expected to perform on this standard distribution. And this is just very simple mathematics. If a school is only taking 1 in 10 applicants, you are going to need to be significantly up the curve on a standard distribution and expected to be at least in the top 10% of students in order to gain access to those schools. Also of note, these days, as VAT has been added onto private school fees, the state selective schools have become significantly more competitive than they used to be. So now actually some of the most difficult schools to gain entrance to will be state selective schools. If you don't know which schools you'd like to go for, that is something that our tutors can help you with. We do have an understanding of the schools that are within an area and how difficult those schools are to get into. So what we can start to do is to look at, well, which schools is it feasible that you'll get entrance to, and which schools would we recommend that you go to based on the standardized scores that you've received from an OWL Tutor's diagnostic test. And what you have to keep in mind is that on this standard distribution, you might be trying to help your student by providing them with the tutoring, but they're being compared against a body of students, some of which are also being tutored. And those students are also getting older and they're at school and they're learning. So to move up points on the standard distribution means that you have to outperform everybody else. This isn't just about getting better, it's about getting better faster than all of the other students. And it can be done, but that requires you to do significantly more work than everybody else.